Hello there folks, thanks for joining me once again. Today's fly this time is going to be another soft tackle pattern. It's one that I come up with and I simply call it the partridge and squirrel soft tackle. I use a darker partridge feather off the skin for the tail fibers and the collar, and natural squirrel dubbing, red squirrel dubbing for the body, and a gold rib. It's a very buggy fly, really good attractor pattern for trout. And I thought I'd share this one with you this time around. So we'll get this guy the vise, a fresh hook in, and get started. And the hook I'm using is a Mustad 33.99 wet fly hook. And size 10 here, the bigger size for the video. And I tie him down to like a 10 down to probably, you could tie him down to a 16 if you had small enough partridge feathers. But anyway, we'll get started here. And the thread I'm using is some brown denville 6/0. So we'll start a little bit behind the eye here, about hook eye length, and I'm going to wrap back towards the barb here. Okay, and go touching wraps back, but it doesn't have to be touching wraps, there's no worries there. Alright, we'll snip off for excess. Now the tail, it's just a feather off the top part of the partridge skin, and it's got the darker browns, it's got the multi-colors through it there. For the tail, we'll take some fibers off. Okay, probably 15 or 20 fibers or so. Measure them up the hook shank length. Tie them on with a pinch wrap. Just like so. Okay, then I'm going to wrap back a ways and lift up on that so it stays on top. Alrighty, there's our tail. Now we're going to wrap forward over top of those fibers. I'm going to trim that a little bit there. There we go. Okay. Nice snug wraps there. Alrighty, now we're going to attach our rib, and I'm using some small size gold wire here, copper, either or is fine. I've tied them with both, and now we'll put that on the side here and wrap that in for our side. Catch it in with nice snug wraps there, right in front of the tail. Wrap forward a bit. Put that in the material clip out of the way here. Alrighty. Next is the body, and I have some natural red squirrel dubbing there off the hide. And I mix that all together there. It'll give a nice buggy look once it's on there. So we'll take a little bit of the wax here, put on the thread, and we'll dub ourselves a noodle on there. Okay. Alrighty. Here we go, we'll get that done here now. Okay, and I'm not worried about taper too much on this guy, just a nice even noodle down the thread there. And we'll see how much we get on here. Sometimes it takes more than one noodle to finish them up, but we'll see where this puts us here. This may be enough here. Alrighty, first thing I'm going to wrap back towards the tail. It's like so here. Okay, I'm going to make that first wrap here right in front of the tail. I just turn my vise on the side so I can see here a little better, and wrap that forward. Okay, and I think we're going to have pretty much just the right amount on there this time, folks. There we go. There's our body, and you can see the guard hairs give it a nice buggy look there. Alrighty, so now I'm going to throw in a half hitch here where we stop the thread. Snug that down. Swing the bobbin cradle over. And I'm going to use the rotary to wrap our rib. You just want nice even wraps there. You don't have to worry about how many you put on, just try to keep them evenly spaced. And they don't have to be perfect for a fishing fly. Okay, we're going to tie that off. Wrap behind and front, a couple more in front there, then I'm going to fold it back. This fine wire, you can fold that back and wrap over it easier than you can the thicker wires. And then we're just going to helicopter it off. Okay, secure that down. I'm going to put a little more wax on the thread here, folks. That'll trap that in there nice and snug. Alright, smooth that off a little bit. Now, I have a hackle feather here off the partridge hide. Once again, it's the darker section of the skin. Alright, pull those back and cut a little triangle on that tip there to attach. Catch that in on top here. Just like so. Wrap forward once again. Grab my little plunger style pliers here. Grab the stem. And I'm going to preen those back a little bit there. Stroke them back. Just be very careful because we all know how fragile these feathers are here. And we're going to wrap towards the eye. And you usually only get 2 or 3 wraps here with these little feathers. Like so. Catch that in. A couple wraps, bring the bobbin over and around, but keep your tension good at all times on your thread. It's very important, as we know. A couple wraps back. Now check for, see how even it is around the fly. Looks good. Take my 2 fingers, stroke everything back there, the stem and the fibers. Wrap back, and we're going to form a head as we do that. Start the head of the fly. There we go. Okay. Reach in if I can and grab that little stem, give it a little pull like so. There we go. And I want to come back a little bit farther onto that. Just a couple more wraps, folks. There we go. That's plenty. Alrighty. Alright, there she be. Another size 10 partridge and squirrel soft tackle. Now we'll do a 5 or 6 turn whip finish and he's a done deal. Alrighty. Come in there and do our whip finish. Okay, there we go. And we'll snug that nice and tight there. Seat the knot well. I'll come in and snip that out. There we go. Now I'm going to grab some of the Solarez Bone Dry that I use. And we'll put that on the head of the fly, the red thread wraps there. This stuff soaks in really well. It's another reason why I like using it. Just like so. And if you get a little too much on, you can always take your W needle and just get that little bit off the side there. I had a little too much on, that's fine. Cure them up with the light real quick here. Okay. Doesn't take too long to cure that up. Just a few seconds. There we go. Well, that's a done deal, folks. So it's not that difficult of a tie if you're used to tying soft tackles, and if you have these materials, definitely throw some of these together and add them to your box for sure. And if you haven't seen my videos, this is first time viewing, if you'd like to subscribe, hit that good old subscribe button there and throw in a like too if you wish. Appreciate that. And until next time, folks, like I always say, happy tying out there. Hope to see you all again soon, and so long for now.